Good afternoon from National Weather Service in Missoula. I'm the meteorologist Ryan Leach, and this is the weather planning briefing for December 7th, 2020. So to start off, we've got quite a lot of active weather out there. So this is our matrix, our weather threat matrix, and we can see for tomorrow, for Friday, we've got a little bit of snow affecting north central Idaho and the passes. A bit more active for Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have some higher elevation snow, a little bit of wind out there in the mountains to affect some of the backcountry conditions. Then a little bit of a break on Monday, and then things are kind of wide open for early next week, so I'll talk more about that. So currently we can see here on the satellite that there's a system right here just to the north of Montana, another one coming in down towards the southwest in the Great Basin area. If we look upstream, there's several systems out here in the Pacific. They're all lining up to come into our area. So that's really sort of the setup for the week of active weather that we have ahead of us. So that being said, looking at Friday night through Saturday morning, we've got this situation where we're mainly going to have most of our snow coming into the mountains. So we're looking at 2 to 3 inches here around Lolo Pass for Friday night through Saturday morning. I want to point this out though on the temperature graph. This is for Lolo Pass, but conditions will be similar for a lot of mountain ranges. We kind of each day we have the temperatures coming up to near freezing. So you can imagine as we get down to lower elevations away from the pass that those will be a bit warmer and bumping up above freezing each day. So we're going to have this situation where we're above freezing during the day, dropping back down to a hard freeze at night. And we're going to do that over and over again. And we're going to have this long stretch of precipitation when we go with that. So again, this is for Lolo Pass for snow, but it's pretty representative of what we're going to have at most areas. Probably lower snow amounts at lower elevations, maybe some rain mixed in there, but basically it's just going to be one weather system after the next with a warming and then a freezing. So that sets up pretty good or bad conditions for ice depending on how you look at it. So again, this map is for Friday through Saturday morning. Most of our snow impacts are going to be up in the mountains with that. So the next system after that would be Saturday night through Sunday, and we've kind of got a low end amount. So this is a 10th percentile or a 9 in 10 chance that we'll have more. So this is the low end forecast. This is basically our expected forecast for that time period, and then on the right we have our high end forecast. So you can see some places again in the mountains. I'll pick out Lolo Pass. We're looking at about 5 inches. Marias Pass, looking at a low end forecast for 4 inches. Lolo Pass, Marias Pass, both of them are more likely going to be in the 7 to 8 inch range. And then a high end forecast would be about 10 to 12 inches up in the mountains. So this would be like a 90th percentile or only a 1 in 10 chance of having more. You can see there's not much in any case with these. There's not much going on down the valleys. And this is actually going to be a pretty interesting period. First of all, we're going to have quite a lot of wind in the mountains. Not expecting that to be much of an impact except for places like Marias Pass where you could see some blowing and drifting with some of these snow amounts. However, for those who are going to be in the back country, this may affect the avalanche conditions or the avalanche danger. So if that's something that might affect you, I'd encourage you to go and look at your respective avalanche forecast centers and get your latest warnings and advisories from them. But we are going to have some of that wind coming in with the snow. Also, during this time period, snow levels are going to be rising and pretty quick. So that's one of the reasons we have such the low amounts down at the lower elevations in the valleys. The snow levels are going to be rising. We're going to be melting snow on Sunday, if you even have any snow down in the valleys. Up in the mountains, though, and those stretches of road like Interstate 90 between Missoula and Lookout Pass, places like that may start out or will start out as snow and then transition to rain. So we'll be looking at some slush. So there's just going to be this whole mix of winter precipitation types. Any valleys where we have cold air, we do have a chance for seeing some very isolated pockets of freezing rain, but ice is definitely a threat. So it's a really mixed bag of what we're expecting for Saturday night through Sunday. And then early next week, again, this is a snow forecast. This is a low end, and it looks kind of boring because there's nothing in it. Our expected forecast amounts are about 2 inches down in the valleys with 1.8, about 2 inches again up in Kalispell. Looking at about 3 inches near Lookout Pass, and 3 to 4 to 5 inches up in the mountains is sort of the middle of the road forecast. High end forecast has 5 inches down here in Missoula, so we're looking at 4 to 6 inches in the valleys, generally speaking. These purple colors in the mountains for that high end forecast, those are around 12 inches, so 10 to 12 or 14 inches in the mountains. I know that that's a really wide range, and what it breaks down to is we've really got a scenario with a couple of different events. Most of them lean more towards this low end to expected, so about 80% of our forecasts are coming in somewhere closer to the low to expected. I would say 1 to 2 inches is probably a more likely scenario for places like Kalispell and Missoula and Butte. Whereas there's about a 20% chance right now, looking at the different scenarios, that we end up with this more high end scenario. If we do get the high end scenario, it won't be the entire area or the entire region that's covered with these higher amounts. It will most likely be a band. So, say a band right here through Missoula, where you end up with this, 4 to 6 inches down in the valley and a foot in the mountains. Or if it comes in a little bit farther north, if the wind direction is different, you could end up with 3 to 5 inches or so up in Kalispell and much higher amounts up in Glacier Park in those areas. So early next week, we're going to be getting in. We're looking at around December 22nd, December 23rd, that time frame. Expecting some travel to start picking up. So there's the door's kind of wide open for impacts at that time. So please keep watching the forecast there. As we go into our 6 to 10 day outlook, our precipitation amounts for most of the region looks like it's about normal. So I won't belabor that point. However, temperatures are going to be above average. We're expecting sort of to be on the end of a ridge again, so we'll have some warmer temperatures, but also the potential for some moisture to keep streaming into the area. So we're just kind of on the edge of everything there. What that means is we'll still see some of these situations where we have above freezing temperatures or near freezing temperatures during the day, and then hard freezes at night, and that kind of sets us up for just a sort of a continuation of this. Light precipitation, not a lot in the way of accumulation going out in the long term, but we'll have the temperatures changing and we will have some precipitation, so it sets up that just sort of a difficult, messy situation where we have mixed wintry precip, melting during the day in places, refreezing at night. So it's going to be a kind of a complicated and messy weather pattern as we go into next week and into the Christmas holiday. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 406-329-4840. Thank you.